Hello. I'm actually going to do a non-flea market talk for this very second. I find I'm liking Periscope, especially watching other people's scopes. And I have a question because I'm going to use Periscope for other businesses I have and other things. And so one of the limitations of Periscope is that it's really only, well, first of all, the apps have only been written for iOS and Android. And I would like to use it on my PC. I do know about the ability to use Periscope from your browser, but that sucks because you can't comment, and sometimes it's out of sync and it doesn't show people's comments, and whether you're watching it live or on repeat, and I know even with the apps themselves that Periscope has some problems. So I have a Macintosh, so what I did was I downloaded VirtualBox, which is a virtual computer machine which allows you to run subsystems underneath it, and I put Genymotion underneath that. So Genymotion and VirtualBox are running, which allows me to run Android on my an Android sandbox on my Macintosh. And what I need to know is how to get that working properly, because I can't download Periscope until I got Google Play working, and I'm having a problem with Google Play. I do know there's a drop down. What am I talking about? Who knows? I'm trying to get Periscope running on my Macintosh. So I downloaded a drop-in, I forget the name of it, it's called ARM Toolbox or something, which I believe changes the API so that I can get the Google Play Store running on my Macintosh under the Android VirtualBox. And somehow it crashed Genymotion. So what I need to know is if somebody has done this before. It's on the internet that people have done it, and yet I cannot find an exact place where it's saying that's happening or exact instructions on how to do it. If somebody could email me at envythisstuff@gmail.com, which is the same as the Periscope name here, envythisstuff@gmail.com, then I could start playing with it. I did email Genymotion people, but they did not answer me. So because this is the freely downloadable version of Genymotion, I'm not sure if they're not answering because I'm not a paid customer, or they think they're going to start giving tech support for something that really isn't theirs. The bottom line is, when I dropped in this ARM Toolbox thing or whatever, I was supposed to do what the instructions I found called was an ADB reboot. I understand the ADB toolkit comes from Genymotion, but I can't find out where to get it from. So I had wished that Genymotion at least answered me about that. I'm probably even willing to pay for it at this point, because the limitations of using Periscope on my phone is silly, and why not have it available on other mechanisms? Especially since my phone basically has a meltdown every time I use Periscope. I'm also running into buffer problems and other things like that. And it just seems like we should have a capability to do more stuff like that. So, if anybody is looking for something similar, I am too. I'm going to post this on YouTube as well so that it retains after 24 hours. And as I said, once I configure this out, I will post instructions on how to do it. I will not, at least at this time, attempt to do it under Windows, although I would imagine once I can get it done that the Windows instructions are similar. In fact, the Windows may not have this limitation, but at this split second, I don't want to spend time investing into Windows solutions. At some future time, I definitely do want to. But right now, all I'm interested in is getting Periscope up quickly under the Macintosh. Loading VirtualBox, which is the virtual machine, was no problem to get and download and get working. Loading Genymotion was no problem to download and get working. Bringing up sample Android model machines, virtual machines, I could do with no problem. I could run Android on the Macintosh with no problem. I can get on the internet from Android from the Macintosh with no problem. What I can't do is download Google Play to get Periscope. So I understand that somebody has done this, so I know I'm repeating all this twice. So if anybody knows how to do this, please email me, because that's the only way to respond to this, unless you're live the second and know the answer. So what I'm trying to figure out is how to get Google Play installed on Periscope underneath Genymotion, underneath a virtual machine, which is in this case VirtualBox from Oracle. Okay, thank you. So I see I have one watcher. Do you know the answer? Okay, this is probably a pretty geeky technical question. I'm a geek and I'm technical. Even though you've seen my post this week from flea market things, I'm a geek at heart and I can understand technical answers. Or at least if I can't understand it outright, I can understand its context and figure out where it came from. And certainly on something like this, what I'm really looking for is the instructions that I did run across talked about doing an ADB reboot, and I cannot find where ADB is. By virtue of it coming from Genymotion, it was my understanding it would have been in the Genymotion install and download stuff. And I've looked on their site, I've Googled for it, and I just come up going circular. So maybe my Google is failing in some way. Maybe I'm not using the right searching for it. I don't know. So with that, peace out. DFTBA, right? Chill, bro. And goodbye.